coaching for many years, and he is actually internationally known. He's an executive coach. He's also the chair of the board for International Coach Federation. He has done so many things. He doesn't really just only coach in South Africa. He's all over the place, including here, and he has involved me in some of the other stuff that he's doing. He is a champion of African leadership. He believes it, he lives it, and he fights for it everywhere. And so for me, it's just a very special privilege. But because he only has a very short 1 hour, I don't want to go on and on and on. I want DUMI to speak to these people. These people are the leaders, about almost, I say actually 40 of them, across East Africa, who have really, we just finished a session for them sharing what they are taking away from this. So you are sealing this celebration summit for Cohort 2. You are there in Cohort 1. You actually welcome them, when they were starting their Cohort, this Cohort 2. And you are back actually on demand. And you are also back because I feel that you have the message that we need right now. And so DUMI is going to talk about emotional intelligence and Ubuntu spirit. And this is DUMI, this is what he breathes and thinks. And so I gave a topic, do your thing, DUMI, and welcome, welcome, welcome from East Africa.
So Yes.
Yes, we can go. Can you hear?
Yes, I can hear you now. If we can have a few people to share what their take is. Let's take, say, people from, say, 3 sides of the room. We have a microphone.
Oh, we don't have mics? There's a mic behind there. Oh, there. Thank you.
Hello. Yeah, our team here, we have discussed it as the capacity to react to our different emotions consciously and irrationally.
Consciously and rationally. Okay. Anyone else?
Yeah, thank you. With my pair, we said emotional intelligence has 4 key components, which includes 1, self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship management. Can I go further to expound on them?
Absolutely beautiful. Yes.
Can I?
Let's have one more, 1 or 2 more. This is absolutely stunning, beautiful one. Yeah. Anyone else? One more. Say one more.
Okay, so I and my pair discussed it that it is the ability to acknowledge your emotions and ability to handle them, not to control your decision-making process, and of course the ability to help others to be emotionally intelligent with their emotions.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much for that. All right. Thank you. We want you to just remember this beautiful description of it. It shows that you already are familiar and know what emotional intelligence is from these descriptions and the definition that we've gotten already. So let me share what I have with you. And please, I hope everyone has a notepad and something to write, or you take a picture of it. Very important. I think we'll share the slides. Dr. Joyce can do that. So let me share what I have, because I've got, as I say, limited time to do that. Now, please let me know when you can see the slides in slideshow.
Yeah, we can see them.
Is that full slideshow now in the room?
Yes, we can see them.
Okay, great, thank you. So I'm going to talk about 2 things: emotional intelligence, and then Ubuntu. Or no, Ubuntu, I'll talk about Ubuntu leadership, and then the spirit of Ubuntu, the quality of living with Ubuntu and leading with Ubuntu values. And that's just what it is. These are reminders. Both emotional intelligence and Ubuntu, these are reminders to say, from here, this is how I conduct myself, this is how I lead going forward. Just before this session, I was coaching an executive, a chief operating officer in one major insurance company somewhere in Southern Africa. It's confidential, I won't say where necessarily. And this person is being recruited by one major company, international company, to be CEO, and was asking, what do I do now? Do I take you as my coach with me, or do I negotiate that with me? What is it that you want most? Say, it's the emotional intelligence, alertness and awareness that coaching has helped me become or have, that I'm bringing with me. I want to take with me to this new role as CEO. I don't know. That surprised me, emotional intelligence. I did not coach you consciously to say, I want to raise your emotional intelligence. And she said, the coaching journey has helped me become emotionally intelligent, become wise. What do you mean by that? Saying, I'm more aware now that everything I do impacts others. Even everything I am, not what I do only, everything I am also impacts how others respond to me. And that is the essence and base of emotional intelligence. Understanding that whether you choose it or you don't, other people are impacted by your mood, by how you are. In the morning, when you wake up and get into your car, get into the office, you impact others. You infect others with your mood, just like a virus. Make sure it's worth catching what mood you have or you are in. That's the beginning of emotional intelligence. So we start here. This is not AI. This image is not AI generated, those that do not know. This was me in 2016. I was in Tokyo, Japan, and I put on this heavy metal warrior outfit for a samurai with a sword. It's heavy and it's metal in all the way, and yeah, you can't run very fast carrying that, but it's to prevent you from being chopped into pieces by another warrior with a sword, a katana sword or something like that. But the message here is that each of us is a warrior at some level or some point somewhere, whether you choose it or not. You find yourself faced with all kinds of challenges where you've got to fight your way through. That makes you a warrior. And we all have talent to help us navigate, negotiate, or work ourselves through that. And then we all have emotions that impact how we do the warrior part and how we navigate the warrior and the talent part for us to come through the other end. The thing is, you've got to understand what armor you're wearing and what sword you're carrying, or how defensive you are in that. Are you always defending or always attacking? Or just neutral, sitting in a corner waiting for things to happen? How are your emotions supporting you or obstructing you to be the leader that you were created to be? And then there's this part, each of us have a soul. And we always say it's in our body, in our heart, in our center. We have that, and when people meditate and do that or pray, they always say, some people put their hand in their chest when they greet namaste or something, some do this, and others when they embrace. Dr. Joyce was talking about a hug and an embrace. Most people don't even know how to greet or how to hug someone, because we just do that and we pat someone at the back. That's not a hug. An embrace is, you can almost feel the other person's heartbeat. You've got to hold them close to your chest. That is a connection with you when you do that, but that's a topic for another day. The message here is this: we all have something within us that drives us, and God placed, and I'm a praying man, so I unashamedly talk about God all the time, because God guides and leads me in everything I do. God has placed in all of us a unique gift in each and every one of us. There are over 8 billion humans now on earth, and there's only one you, only one. No photocopy, no phone call copy of you. There's only one, and you're a masterpiece, yourself. It's about understanding why you're here, with all that you have, all that you are, including your emotions that we're going to talk about today. The message for today is, you may outrun that which is chasing you, like a leopard, a lion, anything, a dog, anything that's chasing you. Even a chicken can attack you. Instead of catching it and having it for dinner, it can chase you, mess around with its chicks. You may outrun that which is chasing you, but it is impossible to outrun that which lives inside you. What God placed inside you is unique to you, and your job is to see to it that when you die, you've executed your mission. And this is why, as leaders, We need to know our purpose, know who we are. Dr. Joyce knows her purpose and she's living it all over the world. What is your purpose? How are you living it? How are your emotions or your emotional state? How is it helping you deliver on that mission? So, we need to start with connection. Last time I spoke about connection and greeting and namaste and sawubona, I see you, greeting, different kinds of greetings. What do we mean? When you say jumbo, what exactly does that mean? What are the other greetings that go with that? How we seek to know how the other is doing, because we know we are connected to them. How they're doing impacts how we do. When we seek for connection, we restore the world to wholeness. The world needs wholeness. America is voted yesterday, and they are bound to have possibly Donald Trump is going to be the next president by how the election results are coming up and looking. Looks like he's going to be president again. And others think like the world has come to an end. No, it has not. We've got to seek for wholeness, restore the world to wholeness. Our seemingly separate lives become meaningful as we discover how truly necessary we are to each other. Are we necessary to each other? Yes. So it matters what happens in Russia, Ukraine, Palestine, Israel, Sudan, DRC Congo. It matters what happens there, because we are one humanity, and we have been disconnected, sometimes intentionally so. But when we tune into our emotions, we find each other, because we're emotional beings, and our souls know each other. This is a connection. These are neurons in our brains connecting. They fire signals to connect. When we greet and embrace each other, this is what happens. There are hormones, there are all kinds of things, and we connect, we attune to each other. And I've shared this with you before. Babies know how to do this when they're young, when they're called imprinting into their mothers. It's called bonding early childhood. Very, very important. We carry this wisdom and intelligence in our genes through our lives. We know it. Over time, we learn to numb it with things we eat, things we do, and things that we program our brain and that not to tune in into it. But we know it, it's who we are. So we need to do that. Do that by greeting consciously. I've spoken to you about this. Greet consciously, mindfully, and intentionally, then you do that. It's a superpower to greet consciously. It's about learning how to do that. We need to do that. That's the beginning, laying foundations for being emotionally intelligent. And more on this here. So when I say greeting consciously is a superpower, it ignites real connection. Not fake connections, not a greeting where you just wave and say, hi, how are you? I'm fine. And even the fine is like, it's a fight. Like, there is no attunement to the heart who you are really. It's a ticking a box. It's not a genuine greeting. So we need to come back home with that. This is a reminder what we need to do before I get to emotional intelligence just now. Another message that as leaders, all of you in the room here right now, you must evolve beyond being managers seeking incremental improvement to become visionaries within the courage to craft your resident purpose and boldly imagine and pursue the future. You must seek to have, we talk about agility, but we need authenticity and confidence. And then the emotional intelligence one, the self-awareness. One of you spoke about the attributes of emotional intelligence, the quadrants, earlier. And you must carry with you, within you, a learner's approach, a learner's stance, a learner's mindset. Because that's how you lead. It's what the world needs now. For you to get to the summit of your leadership, you must have that. But sometimes the thing that is holding you back is all in your head. So you need to find it and move it, or you need to just make a move and realize that what you thought was an obstacle actually is not. Because you believe it is, then it becomes so. That big mule is held by a small chair, plastic chair. It can flip it easily, but because it believes it's tied to it, it won't move. What is holding you back from becoming the best version of yourself? Right. Thank you for the definition of emotional intelligence, but this is what the research says it is. This is one old definition. There are many other definitions, but this one works for me. These three things define it. Emotional intelligence is the ability to identify, assess, and manage your emotions, the emotions of others, and those of groups, organizations, or whole nations of the whole world. Actually, can do that. If you can unleash COVID, or you can have COVID spreading around the world, you can manage people's emotions quite easily. So 3 things, and look at the sequencing of it. First you identify it. You don't just start managing an emotion before you identify, assess it. Identify what exactly is it. Then assess it or unpack it to understand it fully. And then you manage it after that. But you start with your own and then move on to others. You don't start with others and then forget yourself. It's similar to when you fly in airplanes. They say you put on your mask first, your oxygen mask, before you can put on even your loved ones, your children. So it's about starting with yourself. Most of these things start with yourself. So identify, assess, and manage your emotions, and then those of others. But what else is it? Emotions are not just noise. Many people think leave emotions at the door, They said we are a place of rationality, intellect, and logic, and facts and science. These are important things. Don't come here with your emotions, because they think emotions are a sign of weakness. And if someone shows an emotional reaction, they're weak or they're not strong enough. Most of that is not true. Emotions are not just noise in the rational intellect of the workplace. What are they? Emotions are real. As real as you are here in this room. They are powerful energy. Emotions are energy that can affect any organization's bottom line. They affect everyone. Everyone has emotions. We are all emotional beings, whether we like it or not. It's how we manage or navigate our emotions. And that determines your level of emotional intelligence. All great leaders are positively infectious. Yeah. I had the privilege of meeting Nelson Mandela, and he definitely infected me with his grace and presence and leadership, and his presence was felt in the room. We were there in Parliament with other leaders, and just for the moment when he greeted me, it felt like there was no one else in the room. That's leadership presence in the moment. We all have that. It's how do you impact others with who you are? And wherever we go, whatever we do, we must remember, must know that as leaders, as humans especially, and parents are even more important in this, we affect and infect others with our moods. And people have a bad day at home and come and be very rough and nasty with their subordinates at work. I don't like to use the word subordinate, their colleagues at work. Because someone messed your partner, a child, a teenager that's throwing tantrums, and then you catch the mood and you spread it around. But something happens at work, and then you take it home, kick the dog, or shout at your spouse or your children. If you are not emotionally intelligent yet, you do that. You lash out. You act out things that you shouldn't in the wrong places. That's what happens when we're not emotionally intelligent. Get straight to the competencies. Everything starts on the to the left of the center there, that's self-awareness. That's the beginning of everything, emotional intelligence. And that arrow moves to emotional self-awareness on the top left. Self-awareness is emotional self-awareness. You're self-aware because you're aware of your emotional state in each moment. And you do accurate self-assessment. You don't say, no, yeah, and my voice is breaking, I'm choking, and emotionally, I'm okay. No, that's not an appropriate or accurate self-assessment. You can acknowledge it, say, I'm feeling emotional right now because this is affecting you. That's accurate self-assessment. Accurate self-assessment gives you self-confidence to step into it more. But from self-awareness, we go to self-management at the bottom left, with the circle at the bottom. Once you are self-aware, you become better at self-managing. So on the lower left end of it, self-awareness leads to better self-management, which is emotional self-control. Once you have emotional self-awareness, you gain in emotional self-control, which is about transparency, adaptability, achievement, initiative, optimism, all those great things in there. So those work together, self-awareness and self-management. And then once you're done with that, that's the self, looking at the self, that begins with self, identifying, assessing, and then managing, start with yourself. You go to self through social awareness on the top, which is empathy, organizational or other awareness, and service orientation, being aware that I'm here to serve, to play a part, and play a role with others in service of the greater good. And that's the social awareness part. And it leads to one on the right, which is the relationship management. Once you become socially aware, you become better able to manage your relationships, all of them. That's learning to read the room. Very, very important. Social awareness leads to better relationship management. And then you become an inspirational leader, you have influence, you develop others, you're a change catalyst, like Dr. Joyce does. Conflict management, you navigate relationship much easier. And you collaborate as your first nature on. Very important on this. And it looks like this in the next when you deal with it much better on this. Then you have the individual with the yellow and the collective on the right. Individual and the left, collective on the right. Think of the circles that I just shared earlier, and you can think of this as a water. The middle part of this, the orange green line in the middle, which is crossed by these blue arrows. Think that as a water table, and there's an iceberg in the middle that goes there and goes there. What's below the line is self-awareness and social awareness. You can't see awareness unless it shows up as self-management and relationship management. Very important to see that way. And the same attributes that are here, these ones, are the same ones that show up here. I'll show you again. If you look at self-awareness and social awareness, they are awareness that they lie deep within. But the management part is what's above the water level. You can see it above. So what we have here is self-awareness leads to, the arrows leads to better self-management. And social awareness on the right-hand side leads to better relationship management. Very important in self-awareness. I'm feeling, how am I feeling right now? And where am I feeling the feeling? And my hands clammy, or I'm feeling my heartbeat. My heart is beating fast. I'm feeling sick in the tummy, or for women, sometimes I'm feeling a tightness in my womb. My child is in trouble, got injured, or something happened. Where am I feeling it? How am I feeling? Very, very important. And for the guys, when you see someone in a sports or an injury, sometimes someone gets kicked in the family jewels. Guys actually feel it, yeah, we're all adults here, we can talk about this. So you feel that, but many people are not aware of that. We don't tune into what we're feeling when we feel it, because we think feelings are soft things. Very important. It's a powerful skill to have when you can tune in into what you're feeling and know what it is. Then you can manage it. That's why you need accurate assessment of what you're feeling. Very important. I used to be, I mentioned this to you, to react very badly to taxis, the public transport guys that provide the best service in the world. They take people to work and back home efficiently all the time. Oh, okay, efficiently is relative. But the point is, I would be so affected by someone cut in front of me or stop suddenly in front of me and slam my brakes, and screaming, hooting, shouting, flashing my light. Then until the family member got to do the business and I've got to understand what they're doing, what they need to do. And then I changed completely in that. Now I stop when I see they're stopping and I wave at them, I make way for them, and it doesn't affect me the same way. I get to work, I'm happy, I'm fine, go home, wherever I'm going. It doesn't impact me that I'm more aware of what's going on. And then I self-manage better and have a better impact. We all have that. So very important to understand these quadrants by Daniel Goleman, and I modified them a little bit to add something else into it. Very, very, very important to understand the self-management part, the individual part, relationship part, the collective, or the others involved in it. This is the other one about the 5 components of emotional intelligence, more like an 8th version of it. That we are all emotional beings. Social skills, being able to create and maintain healthy relationships, part of emotional intelligence. Not thinking that every relationship is there, someone is there to be used for your own ends. That's not emotional intelligence, that's manipulation. Self-awareness, the knowledge of one's own thoughts, feelings, and motivations. Understanding what makes you you, what makes you do what you do. And then self-regulation, empathy, then decision-making. Your decisions informed by all your intelligences, including your emotional intelligence. We need to understand that this is who we are. And then when we're emotionally intelligent, the link between me and my organization's performance, I understand who I am on the top left there. If you look at that screen, behind the face is all red and there's smoke coming out of the ear, stressed to the wazoo. The white face in front is smiling, everything is okay, but inside I'm dying. Something is going on there. It's understanding that we are whoever we are. Who I am, which is deep self-awareness, emotion, body, mind, and spirit, influences how I lead and inspire others. Using emotional intelligence and understanding your leadership style, which sets the climate or the tone in which you will work with resonance or dissonance. We have agreement, we work together, we collaborate and fix what we need to do. And that achieves our collective results. We celebrate together, we've done together, we've done good things. But understanding that who I am influences how I lead others. And it sets the tone or shapes the climate, environment in which we work, and helps us achieve the results we want to achieve. Very important, and emotional intelligence is the determining factor in that. So emotional intelligence, in fact, first understand who you are. Know thyself. The Bible says that. Understand who you are is one of the things I teach about, and I've written a book, a whole chapter about that, understanding who you are. Who am I? That's the question you need to ask. Who am I? And the second one is develop and refine how you come across in your world. And this is essential for your being. How do I come across them? How do people experience me when I walk into a room? Then adjust your doing to align with your being. Many people get this wrong because they think we are all about doing. No, stop, pause, check. How am I? How am I showing up? And then act from your core values. And emotional intelligence is your guide. What are your core values? Do you serve or you want to be served? First. The emotional intelligence effect. You and your people do not become a team because you work together. You're a team because you get to know each other. You trust each other. You support each other. Respect is common thread in that. So you know, trust, respect, support, connect with each other, and then you collaborate with each other. And the most powerful leaders among us inspire others through connection. We would all be here if Dr. Joyce didn't connect all of us here. That is a leader with emotional intelligence who lives it. The emotional intelligence effect, and your effectiveness as an emotionally intelligent leader is measured by what you leave behind. Are you going to leave a legacy or a vacancy? Oh, so and so was here. Yeah, who is that again? We don't remember. But yeah, left behind a vacancy. Or you remember when so and so was here and they did this? Oh yeah, hey, yeah. Oh, miss that lady or miss that guy. There's a legacy involved associated with that. Leaders with emotional intelligence leave behind new or other leaders that will take their legacy to another level. What legacy are you leaving behind already? So, and emotional intelligence informed leadership development. It happens when people realize that organizational transformation is as much about their own personal lives as it is about their group or organizational roles and values and impact and legacies. It's an inward journey. And it's a call to grow as individuals in our relationships. Where is your growth trajectory leading you? Where are you going with your leadership? Or your leadership is just sailing in the seas aimlessly? What's your rudder? What's your compass? Where are you going? Poor leadership is one of the greatest risks faced by many organizations today, by the world, in fact. And terrible leaders, if you can call it that, are in charge of companies and countries and making horrible decisions that impact millions of people. It's because great leaders are standing in a corner watching. And the risk, this leadership risk, gets worse when supervisors, managers, and leaders have low emotional intelligence. Then they don't care much. And the solution can be found in coaching. So, can we have at least one question on emotional intelligence before I go into Ubuntu? I was supposed to finish this one at 1:30 on the hour. I'm 6 minutes behind my schedule. So, Dr. Joyce, can I go on and finish on Ubuntu and then we can have a quick discussion? I can finish this in the next 10 minutes and then we have a discussion.
I would say you go on and then, unless somebody has a burning question.
Okay.
Yeah, please.
Thank you.
Please go ahead and then we finish and then leave a few minutes.
Is the sound clear? Am I audible enough in the room?
Yes. Are you following this stuff, guys? Yes. Aha.
Thank you.
They are here.
All right, thank you. No one is speaking. I'm not too boring. Okay.
Absolutely not. Wide awake.
Okay, we're going to check. So, Ubuntu, these are reminders and a reintroduction, those that may not have seen it that way. And for me, we all need reminders and a reintroduction to this all the time. I'm always fascinated what I'm learning every time about Ubuntu, because it's the essence of being human. It's the word, it's the so-called in Bantu languages. Anyone can relate to this, but I won't go into the origin of the word or our languages and that, but just understand that many people can relate to the two-part and Ubuntu, who we are and the essence of being human. I want to start by this though, that we need to understand that there are others that see African wisdom or knowledge as less than or not that advanced or whatever. The stratification or hierarchization, if there's such a word, of knowledges and wisdoms in that many people are waking up to that actually to dismiss African philosophy or wisdom is to dismiss the very source of humanity itself. Because everyone came from here, and people are aware of that or are afraid to acknowledge that truth, because it dismantles all the edifice of so-called modern life as we know it. And many of us know that that's the case. We've always known that. It's okay to let people believe what they choose to believe, but you've got to know that you are as you are. It doesn't matter what skin color you're wearing, what hair texture, what color eyes you have. You are the source of humanity. Ask yourself, who or what taught me what I believe I know for sure about myself and about others? Where did I get that from? Who said that dark skin is ugly, lighter skin is prettier? What kind of nonsense is that? Because what you're really saying is that God actually can make fakes or ugly things. That's a sin actually, to even try and change yourself from how you are. Because we are incredible beings made by the Creator himself in his image. How can I then try and change that and make it into something else? I should try and be more me than try and be more someone else. I get into trouble talking about this, so I'll stop and move on from here before I get into trouble with these beautiful people in the room. Historical note of Ubuntu. Check back to what's called Hermetic philosophy and science. If you look at this great Ethiopian, Hermes Trismegistus, whose writings date back as far back as 10 BC. You can find this, it's out there, you find it now on the internet, it's available. And if you get a chance to go to Ethiopia, go visit some of the museums and have a look at that. You'll get a chance possibly to go meet our grandmother, Lucy. I still think she must have been given an Ethiopian name. I managed to have a chance to visit the museum, and it's an incredible experience in artists. And go up north to Lalibela and go to the church that was tuned into rock and just have a feel, walk around barefoot and feel the magical value of the essence of humanity way before the colonial and the other so-called programming that's put in our psyche that we live by and think is reality and truth when it's not. The quality and dignity of the human personality is called supreme goodness, which is Ubuntu. So we are godly beings ourselves. We need to understand that we are made in God's image. We have the qualities to make things happen, to create. We're given that. We have that if we tune ourselves into that. And that's why it's important that people want to control what you think and how you see the world. So if you learn to think for yourself, you become a very dangerous person to how others want the world to be. And Mart, understood to be the original African meaning of Ubuntu from Kush days in ancient history. That divine microchip in our hearts that tells us what is right or wrong and guides us through life in accordance with the divine will. This is what Ubuntu is. It's that divine microchip in your heart that tells you, no, you cannot do this. no, this is right, the right thing to do. That thing that tells you that was the right thing, or it's the wrong thing, that signal from your very soul, it knows what's right or wrong. That is the essence of Ubuntu. We all have it. It's not unique to us, Africans or people from this part of the world. This is a part of every single human being. So, divine order of creation, of society and nature, is justice, truth, righteousness, collective accountability, and harmony in action, is lived consistently. It's not I'm putting on the head now, taking it off. No, it is not. It's who we are. And it means we treat the person we don't know exactly the way we treat someone we know very well. We treat everyone as if they are our relative, our loved one. And Ubuntu is omnipresent, meaning it's everywhere, irrespective of ethnicity or culture or geography. It is, wherever you find human beings, Ubuntu is there. And it shows up in different words. And I mentioned to you before, when I was visiting professor in Japan, and then when I gave a lecture about Ubuntu, they're like, yeah, we know that. That is Ma. And they just got just MA in Japanese. That's what Ubuntu is. And they know everything I described. Say, yeah, that's Ma. That's how we are. So Japanese companies and businesses have a family atmosphere, how they run their businesses like a family, because they believe in Ubuntu and they call it Ma. It's everywhere. And one of Ubuntu's leading applications in my life, in my family, in my organization, in my networks, I am who I am is defined by our shared collective vision. Our culture, what we've decided to embrace is our culture defining. It's always changing, it's not static. And as part of our community. And I seek to serve our collective good through everything I do. In other words, I'm not here to serve myself, but my community. You know, elephants have, like a family, they're one of the social mammals or groups that they raise their children. The family, the matriarch is one of the strongest in that. And we've got to understand that they know these things. But Ubuntu is genuine, authentic, humane interconnectedness. And it's more than the cliche of saying, I am because we are. And that is many times the misuse or misinterpretation of what Ubuntu is. It's more than that. And it starts with seeing each other as we are, beyond the narrative that we describe ourselves. And it's a global phenomenon. It's not an African thing. And I've had many fights with people that say, no, but it's an African thing, you know, cultural appropriation. No, Ubuntu is all of us, and the very understanding of it, from ancient writings about it, it's the essence of being a human being. And even animals that are not human beings, some of them understand Ubuntu better than some human beings, because they care. I cannot be fully me without you being able to be fully you. That's the essence of Ubuntu. And let me unpack it a little bit more. Okay, that one I've already covered. This statement, many people always question it. But what do you mean? It's an African word. Yeah, language-wise only, yes, you can call it Ubuntu, and then think something else. But it is a global phenomenon that is best understood experientially. You've got to immerse yourself in it to really, really get it. You've got to be in it to get it. You've got to feel it to get it. This is why it speaks to Ubuntu, unleashes our inherent emotional intelligence. And being emotionally intelligent opens up the channel to live with Ubuntu much more freely. This is why it was a genius move for Dr. Joyce to speak to these two, because they are so closely intertwined. One feeds the other, one releases the other, and they release each other. And they feed off each other, they're mutually exclusive. I think, or is it the opposite? English is not English enough. My 15-year-old daughter would say. that divine microchip in our hearts, that covered that. Yeah. Ubuntu is the humanistic experience of treating all people with respect, human dignity, that covered that. Repeating, so yeah, this is where I want to go. All I'm saying is simply this. I wish I could say this in his language, in his accent, how he did it then in the 60s. When he said, I have a dream, and went on to do that. I'm not going to try and do that. All life is interrelated. And in a real sense, we are all caught up in an inescapable network of mutuality. Feel free to take a picture of this. I'll send the slides. Tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. And for some strange reason, I can never be what I ought to be until you are what you ought to be. How can we not understand this? This is so powerful. And you can never be what you ought to be until I am what I ought to be. This is the interrelated structure of reality. Now that's powerful. And it links up to this next one. And you've seen this one, I shared it. Then the last one, that's called yours. But I want to highlight this. When I dehumanize you, I inexorably dehumanize myself. The solitary human being is a contradiction in terms. And therefore you seek to work for the common good because your humanity, my humanity, comes into its own in community, in belonging, because we are together in that. And Ubuntu is resilient. I'll get to the end so that we have a chance, 10 minutes, so 2 more minutes. While it can be suppressed during specific contexts such as socioeconomic strife, conflict, wars, and geopolitics and that, Ubuntu remains resilient and embodied in who we really are as human beings. We are Ubuntu. But Ubuntu lives within all humans. It is who we are. War or peace, Ubuntu stays true. And others say, no, Ubuntu is dead because there's war and there's fight, apartheid, colonialism, discrimination, inequality, unequal trade relations and others. Yeah, that's the people that don't have Ubuntu. And you can't admire that. That's a lesser human being that saves only themselves. Real people save others, create organizations and networks that serve the greater good. Those are people that live full lives. Ubuntu is about collective accountability, and it starts with you, each and every one of us. So, very important one here for me, living, coaching, working, and doing everything with Ubuntu intelligence means that I am fully and consciously aware that I become less than I can fully be when I inadvertently or intentionally contribute towards restricting or limiting you or others from becoming who you or they can fully become during your or their lifetime. And it's true, I effectively rob the world of the gifts that come through me or through you if I limit myself or yourself from becoming who you can fully become. For me, it's the ultimate sin. Hence, the ultimate joy is to support others to unleash the gifts that God placed in them. That's why I do coaching. Because that's what it does. So, one of the most difficult things is not to change society, but to change yourself. So what are you doing to change yourself to be the best version of yourself? Rest in peace, Mandela. It is not our differences that divide us. So what divides us? It is our judgments about each other that do. What are the judgments you need to lay down like a heavy weight on your shoulders about others, whether it's politicians or business leaders or different ethnic group? Those judgments are what is hurting us. And most of those judgments are taught and programmed into us. It's not the differences. Differences make us beautiful together. Asante sana. kidding.
I am totally speechless. I'm sure you know why he is here today. And you said you have to leave at 11:25. So
I'll leave at 1:30, it's fine.
Something. If anybody
Yeah.
has a quick question, my heart is totally full, and I hope this gives us some bits. This is a launch to the next chapter from where we go today. Because as you know, this is the last speech that you are getting today from DUMI. And Dr. DUMI, I mean, you nailed the whole thing. And I am about, I feel like I could just be shaking. This is where we want to go. This is where we aspire. This is why we spend so much time doing these practices that sometimes look like they are not taking us anywhere. Any question that you have? Yes, my dear. Please give her the mic.
Thank you, Dr. DUMI, for a very wonderful presentation. My question is, how do we remain emotionally intelligent in this fast world which is forcing us to all be very logical? Thank you.
Is there another quickie before he answers? Okay.
Yes, go ahead.
One minute, another one.
Yes.
Thank you, Dr. DUMI. It's always a pleasure to listen to you. Mine is on Ubuntu. In a competitive world, how does that stresses on individual achievements, how does the philosophy of Ubuntu apply in such an environment?
I think we can't take any more. Please go.
One more? I can
One
take
more?
one more.
Is there one more?
Yeah.
Somebody, okay, Margaret. One more burning there.
Very quickly, I'm wondering, especially as a type 2 enneagram, what practices will help someone recognize when giving becomes more of seeking approval rather than genuine care?
Wow. I love it. I love it. I teach Enneagram, by the way, so I love that you guys did that. That's amazing. Just for full disclosure, I'm Enneagram type 1 myself. So, yeah, the perfectionist and, yeah, type 2s, yeah, you can't be, giving, it doesn't, I'll get to that. So let's start with the first one. In a tough logical environment, logical world that we're in, the world needs emotional intelligence more now. What we see more, machines that are being trained to be emotionally intelligent, is because the human beings are trying too hard to be like machines. Machines find being logical, that's who they are, they do that very easily. And what human beings need to do is become more human and not be like machines, because we can never be. We can't beat machines in being machines. But machines can't beat us in being human. So what we need is to be more us, more humane, human with an E. And this is the work we need to do, because the logical environment we get into in organizations always pushes to lose some of our humanity. You must be hard and harsh and brutal with people. That's how you can be seen as a leader. That's old school leadership styles. It doesn't work anymore. Especially because the workplace environment now has lots of millennials, but more Gen Zs now coming into the workplace more than ever. We see that, what we see in Kenya, it's been happening in other parts of the world. When we had this before, it was called Spring, Arab Spring and other things. Now it's called something, it's called Gen Z, uprising, everywhere. It's not that, it's look under the bonnet, under the cover and that. It's human beings resisting being bracketed or boxed into one or other category by others that want to keep control of everything and everybody. And it's not gonna happen. So in the world that we're in, we need to seek to be emotionally attuned to ourselves and then to each other. Hence the value of being emotionally intelligent. Because we can't be, we need the logical world, but it's not all there is. It's not the only way to lead or live this life, lead ourselves and others in this life. We need to be fully integrated. We need the emotional intelligence to guide us with Ubuntu, for example. But we cannot, oh, okay, that's the next client is telling me if I'm ready. I'll be coming to them now. And so we need both, but we need to understand what is preeminent, what is most valuable. Most valuable is being authentic to who we are, the values we conduct, we carry ourselves to conduct ourselves in a highly logical world. It's a great question, but we need to, and this is why I always say we need to read the room and know what serves the collective, the greater good in each one. Emotional intelligence will always lead you in the right way. Logic will lead you one way only, in serving the interest of whoever is calling the shots in that. So you need to read the room and understand what's of value. And then, question on what we do in a competitive world. Yes, the world is actually looking for people with heart. I was talking to a group of Chinese coaches last week about the value of being attuned to what's going on in the world. The world is competitive, yes. The world is heartless, yes. And yet the world is searching for heart, for people, leaders with heart, leaders that understand the systemic nature of where we are now. And systemic requires that you understand that everything is connected. You can't do one thing in East Africa and think that it won't matter in Southern Africa or in Central or West Africa or North Africa. It's an interconnected ecosystem across the continent and around the world. The world is hunting right now for leaders that are attuned to how the world works. And you know that the greatest mineral right now, if I can put that in quotations, that companies and countries are mining around the world are the young black people. Did you know that? One of the most valuable resources in the world right now are educated young leaders from Africa. By the way, maybe it's news to you, some of them are being mined and some of the big companies actually come and hunt for talent. We keep saying that with the UN, McKinsey, Deloitte and other companies, UN, that by 2040, it's saying 10, 20, 30 years time, that Africa will have the largest working age population in the world. It's happening now, faster than it was predicted. Largest working age population in the world. You're sitting in the room right now. Someone somewhere out there is looking for you. And I invite you to stay where you are and water the grass where you are. And Enneagram 2, then approval, that last question. Know who you are. Enneagram gives you that. It's one of the most accurate assessments in the world right now that we work with in coaching. Others, there are many other cultural things. So very important for us to understand how that works in many different parts of the world. Hold on, I'll come back to. Yeah, I'll call you back. I'm in a session now, just wrapping up. Thank you. Yeah. So, yeah. Dr. Joyce, I wanted to say, Enneagram 2, learn how to navigate yourself through those challenges and know that you are not just that. And remember, the Enneagram type, it's only one perspective. It may be closest to that, but you're more than just a type. We all are. We're more than that. Work with it. It informs you. It is not all that you are.
So I know we must let you go. I just want to say asante sana also for real.
Sorry, Dr. Joyce, I cannot hear.
I say I know you must go, but we want to thank you. We want to say asante sana from the bottom of our hearts nobody has an excuse to go out there and do something different. We will send this, what you just say to the people that are graduating today so that they can go and mull over what you said. There was so much there, it is very hard just to get it in a session. But thank you for making the time, and we look forward to seeing you next time. You mean a lot to us because you are part of this family, Dr. DUMI. So we say goodbye, go to your session, and continue doing your thing because the world needs it. And we are privileged to have been today given a chance to take a piece of it. Thank you, Dr. DUMI. And because we believe what he was just talking about there, I just keep thinking, I wish somebody could just tear my heart open and so that you can see exactly where I am with this stuff. Because that is why we believe in you. That is why we believe in each other. And that is why this connection is not a joke. I told you we are not workshopping nothing. This is real life. And this is not far-fetched. This is here within you, and the thing is inside you. So, you know, I just knew that he would be able to connect with us in a very special way because he lives what he is talking about, and it was just magical to be able to share a platform with them. They really deeply care about this work. They embrace the work that we are doing there. And you know, we embrace you. You know, I speak on behalf of the coaches myself. And the reason why we got, this is a difficult path, the one we are taking. But it is the only way to really fully realize who you are. And there is no second guessing you because there is no anybody else like you. So I'll give this to Christine, and I think he already said something there. You are so complex. You are so special. You are so authentic. No anagram can actually explain you who you are. We are trying to get an orientation, an entry point, so that you can bloom. I don't even know what will be happening in 5 years from you, about you and about me. And I actually believe it. I didn't know you can grow old and still be growing inside. Not old, but every day it is a new discovery. So I wasn't asked to make a speech, but I really wanted you to really hear what DUMI is saying. We will send this to you, but it will take a while. That is why it's just so hard, because we have to organize the system. There's a lot of taping that has gone on. But I hope your heart, I hope you feel inside, and I hope you feel connected, and I hope you embrace this and let it rule your life. Thank you.
So we had a few questions at the back, which we'll process in 1 minute. Sarah, are you processing them? Or shall I go through them? You're looking at me blankly. Jaima's at Ubuntu. You're still at Ubuntu. Yeah, we'll just process them briefly before we conclude. To you. Who wants to do an energizer?
please remind me, each of the teams will get a copy from me.
Energizer. Who's going to give us an energizer? She did the last time, so.
So a quick one.
Mingo, 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 mingo. We say amingola. Yeah. Mingo, 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 mingo. Amingola. Mingo, 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 mingo. Amingola. Mingo 3. Then you make sure you find yourselves 3. If you are more than 3 or less than 3, you sit down. Can we give ourselves space? Mingo, 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 mingo. Mingo, 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 mingo. Mingo 5. Okay, please sit down. Sit down, sit down. If you didn't have the 5, please just sit. Mingo, 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 mingo. Mingo 2. Zoom, please sit down. Mingo, 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 mingo. Mingo 10. Okay, where is who? I'm facilitating. Okay, I think we can sit down. Thank you. Christine, I'm done.
It's Sarah.
Sarah. Sarah. Where's Sarah? So I finished faster than Sarah was here.
Yeah. 2 minutes. A minute before Sarah comes.
That's how we'll be in heaven even. Okay, so we're going to do a very quick one, and it's Okay, so this is about communication, okay? It's an energize about communication. Okay. Please listen and listen well. Yes. So I'm going to communicate something to Stella, and it's going to go around until the last person, okay? So it should be very fast and very clear.